You think you're having a conversation, but you're actually measuring the depth of a grave. It starts with the erosion of adjectives. Once, every text from them was a paragraph of shared observations, a frantic dump of their day, a deliberate weaving of their inner world into yours. Now, you get the okay. Or the sure. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you get an MHM. You look at these two-letter responses and try to justify them. Maybe they are busy. Maybe they are tired. Maybe the world is just heavy today, and they lack the bandwidth for eloquence. You offer them the grace of assuming they are simply efficient, pruning their language to survive a demanding week. But deep down, you know the truth that you are working so hard to bury. The restriction of language is never about efficiency. It is about emotional resource allocation. When someone stops sharing their inner world with you, it is not because they have nothing to say. It is because they have decided that you are no longer the destination for their thoughts. We live in a culture that fetishizes busyness as an excuse for emotional distance. We tell ourselves that the modern pace of life necessitates brevity, that we are all just too exhausted to be poets in our private messages. This is the biggest lie we tell to avoid looking at the rotting foundation of our relationships. Language is the primary tool of intimacy. We build bridges between minds using the raw materials of description, humor, and vulnerability. When a person loves you, they are constantly reaching out to pull you into their consciousness. They want you to see the sunrise through their eyes, to feel their frustration with a colleague, to share the bizarre thought they had in the shower. Every "how was your day" is an invitation to walk through the architecture of their life. Every detailed response is a brick laid in the foundation of your shared reality. When that stops, it is not a temporary glitch. It is a systematic withdrawal. Watch how they talk to others. Watch how they navigate their digital world. They're still capable of paragraphs. They're still capable of nuance, enthusiasm, and debate, just not with you. They haven't forgotten how to articulate their soul. They have just revoked your access to it. The okay is a wall. It is a polite, sanitized, socially acceptable way of telling you that you are now an acquaintance of the past rather than a partner in the present. You keep asking questions, trying to spark the old fire, offering elaborate stories about your own day, hoping they will take the bait and rejoin you in the dance of connection. But they don't. They respond with emojis or single words that act as dead ends. Every message you send that meets this silence is a piece of your own dignity that you are throwing into a void. It is a desperate, one-sided maintenance of a structure that has already been abandoned by the other party. The most painful part of this realization is not the sudden departure, but the slow, agonizing audit of your shared history. You start rereading old conversations. You look at the timestamps and the word counts. You see the vibrant, sprawling garden of words that once existed, and you realize that the drought didn't happen overnight. It was a conscious choice. They stopped asking you questions about your inner landscape long before they started responding with monosyllables. They stopped offering their own revelations in increments. First, the secrets went. Then, the opinions. Then, the trivial, mundane joys of the day. Finally, all that remained was the administrative chatter. When will you be home? Did you pay the bill? Okay. You are left living with a ghost of the person you once knew, a shell that occupies the same physical space, but has long since checked out of your emotional partnership. We try to bridge this gap with more effort. We try to be more interesting, more patient, more understanding, thinking that perhaps if we are better, they will return. But the okay is not a request for you to be better. It is a signal that they have already decided you are not enough to justify the effort of conversation. And the most cruel irony is that they probably don't even hate you. There is no grand drama, no explosive argument, no cinematic betrayal. There is only the slow, cold slide into indifference. Indifference is a far more lethal poison than hatred. Hatred implies that you still matter enough to provoke a reaction. Indifference simply treats you as background noise, a static hum in their life that they have learned to tune out. They are saving their words for someone else, or perhaps for themselves, in the quiet solitude they now prefer over your company. It is time to stop reading into the silence. Stop searching for hidden meanings in a two-letter reply. There is no hidden meaning. The lack of effort is the message itself. When they stop telling you who they are, they're effectively telling you that you are no longer invited to watch them become someone new. You are standing on one side of a locked door, knocking on the wood, asking for a dialogue that is no longer on the table. The person on the other side isn't working. They've moved out. They've packed up their stories, their dreams, and their inner struggles, and they have taken them to a place where you cannot follow. Accepting this is not an act of defeat, it is an act of clarity. It is the moment you finally stop wasting your vocabulary on someone who has decided that you are no longer worth the investment of their syntax. You stand there in the silence, holding 1,000 words you want to share, only to realize they are now heavy, useless ballast. You stop typing. You look at the screen, and for the first time, you don't feel the urge to bridge the distance. You feel the cold, sharp relief of reality. They have given you their answer in the shortest possible form. They have shown you that they have nothing left to give you. And in that silence, you finally find the space to hear yourself again. You aren't losing a partner, you are losing a projection. You are waking up from the illusion that you could sustain a connection that they had already dismantled piece by piece. The okay was never a response. It was a period at the end of a sentence they wrote a long time ago. Stop trying to turn it into a comma. Just close the book. You keep searching for depth in their silence. They have already stopped looking for you in their words.